This video is an update video to a video I did almost a year ago of Dillon Taylor, 20-year-old young man who was shot in Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, back then I said it and I'll say it again. Dillon Taylor should still be with us. He was shot unjustly by a member of law enforcement. That shooting was unjustified. Dillon Taylor posed no threat. Now we have the full video evidence that shows from the body cam of the officer that the young man couldn't hear his commands, at least not clearly. We can see in the video that Dillon Taylor had in earphones. He was in his own world, coming out of a 7-Eleven store. He had not robbed the 7-Eleven store. Why is this officer showing up on the scene with his gun drawn to begin with? No gun was recovered at the scene. None. This young man was unarmed. When he turned towards the officer, he's like, what? What? What, fool? What? And the officer says, put your hands up, put your hands up. When he moves his hands, the officer shoots him. I'll repeat. Dillon Taylor, when he followed the commands of the officer, that's when the officer shot him. Get it? Take your hands out. What are you reaching for? Take your hands out. When he takes his hands out, he gets shot. Because his shirt moved when he took his hands out of his shirt. The judge ruled that Dillon Taylor, though he did not pose a threat, the officer was just in perceiving a threat that didn't exist. You understand what I'm saying? So, no, Dillon did not pose a threat, but the fact the cop thought it was a threat makes it okay that the young man is dead. And now I'm hearing talk in Baltimore that cops are pissed, so they are not policing. Because what? Because we want to hold cops accountable when they kill our sons and our husbands and our daughters and our wives and our nieces and nephews. That's all. We don't want to hold all cops responsible. We want to hold cops responsible who kill our Dillon Taylors. Guys who are just in their own world, listening to headphones, minding their business. Unarmed men like Dillon Taylor, coming out of a 7-Eleven store, shot down at 20 years old. And I don't want to hear, oh, once upon a time he was in trouble. I don't want to hear that. He was not committing a crime that day. That day, he did not commit a crime. People, look, cops are not justified in shooting and killing people because of things they did in the past that cops are not even aware of them doing. Do you understand that? Stop making excuses for people getting shot. Just stop it. My condolences to the family. We need to hold cops accountable. Good cops, do your fucking job. Bad cops, we want your badge. That's plain and simple. But once again, an officer gets away with being negligent, criminally negligent at the least. Criminally negligent. You shot a young unarmed man reaching for his fucking iPod. You knew he was reaching. You told him to move his hands. He moves his hands. You couldn't see this young man had headphones in. Are you looking, officer? You're looking at him. Can't you see he's got something in his ears? Couldn't you calm a little bit? Calm down just a little bit. Because you could tell, based on the fact he has on headphones, he probably is listening to something other than you. I'm just tired of it, folks. It's just sad. It's sad. This young man has been dead for almost a year now, and it still gets me upset. I don't like the media sweeping things up under the rug. Now you're going to hear people talk about it. I talked about it almost a year ago when it first happened. I was one of the very few people who covered this story. It's a very sad story, but we need to get the word out. What else can we do? I got to keep speaking. I got to keep waking people up. I'm Tim Black. Here's subscribe for more of Tim Black, Tim's Take Live, and Tim the Bartender.